Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Network Merchandise Shop. Check out our large assortment of logo merch and our lifestyle collection as well. Just head over to abvnetwork.com and click on shop. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss whether or not Lenny could win in a cage match against another distiller. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Agley, along with our special guests, Lenny Eckstein, Jim Fosnot, and Dana the Dreamer 6.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hello.
How are you doing? Good. So, we're going to get into this topic today. It's something that Lenny has thrown out there himself, this idea that he could beat up any other distiller in the business. I don't know where he came. Well, we're going to find out the history of this, why it was stated at first, and what he was trying to accomplish with that, and where he stands on this thing at this point. But we'll get to that after the break. We're not talking about that right now. After the break, we'll get to that. But for right now, McNew said there's something she wanted to talk about. What is that, McNew?
Yeah, so the other day, I forget whether it was on Netflix or Amazon, but there's a new show called Windfall out. It was a movie. It's very good. And Jason Segal's in it. And every time I see that guy, I'm like, damn, he is a good actor. But I literally never think about him till I see his face. So I think he's underrated. And I wanted to know, who do you think's an underrated actor that like we don't think about daily, but when you see them, they're like, damn, they killed that role.
Okay. Who's a good actor that always just they're just always good in everything they're ever in? Does anybody have something off the top of their head?
Because I'm horrible with names. I wouldn't even know who they were if I could think of one.
Really?
It's like one of my toxic traits. I just never know celebrity names.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that, Dana.
I'll say this: that guy, and I've seen him in the Quentin Tarantino movies, Christoph Waltz.
I love him.
My gosh, he is good. Yeah. He is so believable. He speaks multiple languages in these movies. That he's been in 2 Tarantino movies, at least 2. And man, he was fantastic. And he just makes us think. To me, both of those are Academy Award winning. Projects for him. I mean, he was just that great. And I mean, I can't imagine him being that is not bad in anything that he does based on those 2. So
He's stellar in Tarantino movies, but like I said, I never think about him till I see his face and I'm like, damn, that guy's good. So very underrated, I think, in a way that we don't think about them.
Yeah. You think about that one. I mean, just that opening scene where, the family's underneath the boards and, he's this Nazi that comes in. And I mean, the tension of just the way he's speaking. He comes in like he's super friendly, but you could tell from the beginning, that's just a ruse that he's not that way. And just to be able to act and do that. If they're telling me, hey, go in and act like you're nice, but you're really not, you can't do any of that. I mean, that's so difficult to do what he did.
And he was so good in Django too, where he was like a little bit irritating, and I'm like, I know these people want to punch him in the face, but he's so like such a gentleman and so polite. Where it's like, oh, they're gonna be polite back to him.
Yeah, very good.
Your question, I mean, posing it as someone who's underrated, I think that makes it pretty tricky. I don't know.
Maybe I asked it weird. I guess like maybe somebody that's just not always in the public eye. Like I literally forget about them till I see them. Maybe they're not underrated though.
Someone that doesn't quite fit the mold of maybe your question, but it's one that comes to mind, and Dana, I'm with you. I can't remember anyone's names, this guy included. The guy in Yellowstone who's not really an actor, but he's pretty good in the role. And it turns out he's really good at playing guitar because that's what he actually does. He's
Ryan Bingham.
Yeah. That's
like
pretty good. I mean, he's not like, the dude in Tarantino movies good, but for a guy who's not an actor, does a pretty solid job.
Yeah.
I think he gets lost in the music scene too, because people will be like, oh, who's like a good like Texas, Oklahoma singer? Nobody ever remembers Ryan Bingham, and he's fantastic.
Yeah, that dude's legit.
Yeah. Jim, you got anybody actor wise?
Man, it's not my strong suit either. Gary Oldman.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's in a bunch of stuff, but he's never, A-list kind of. I mean, he is, but he isn't type of thing. Like stuff I ever think of, but I always like the stuff he's in.
Yes.
And he can play different characters. He's not always the same guy.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely legit. And Dana, anybody come to mind that we can help you out with a name?
You make me realize I watch way too much trash TV and murder documentaries that I need to get out there, because I have not watched Yellowstone. I have not watched many Quentin Tarantino movies. Like, I am failing as an adult in my movie watching, I feel like.
Right. Yeah.
So send those movies to me. I need to know.
Yeah. Gary Oldman was great in True Romance when he was just a drug dealer guy. That was cool. That was Quentin Tarantino written. So again, Tarantino, he's the key to all this stuff. What about you, McNew? Who do you think?
Yeah, like I said, Jason Segel. Like usually he's like a funny guy. Like he's kind of the idiot best friend in a lot of movies, which he's stellar at playing. But in this movie, in Windfall, he was a bad guy, and he was real good at being a bad guy, which was surprising. So I think he should do more diverse roles.
Okay. I haven't seen him in anything since Forgetting Sarah Marshall or whatever.
Yeah, he was in that, and
he was funny in that, obviously.
Yeah, he's always been a funny guy, but he's a bad guy in Windfall. I would check that out.
Windfall. Okay. All right. We'll check it out. All right. Guess what, gang? It is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? We're going to start with Lenny and ask him to sit up, because your computer's not as good with the setup you've got, because your computer's in the shop or something. So this setup, you're a little bit quiet.
All right. I'll see if it's working better now.
That sounds good, though. Yeah.
Okay. I fixed it. I've got a freshly bottled bottle of a collaboration project Deerhammer's doing with Eddie Line Brewery out here in BV. Not in the Deerhammer brand necessarily. It's called Trail Forge. I'll try to wrap up this story. It's actually their IPA that we distilled, and it's been matured for 3.5 years. By the time this episode airs, it'll be on sale exclusively at Deerhammer and Eddie Line in BV. And all the revenue from the sale of this goes to build new trails. Mountain bike trails up in the hills.
Oh, wow. Cool. Yeah. Not much there. Sounds like Mike Muffle on that new computer setup, as yours is in the shop. So
definitely some muffle.
Yeah. I've got R6 here distillery out of El Segundo, California. So here we go. Let's see what we got here. Oh,
good.
Pulls ahead.
That's going to be tough to beat. What do you got there, Dana the Dreamer? 6?
Oh no! So I had to make a special trip, because I had basically nothing at home. So I just grabbed a few bottles of the first things that I saw and recognized. So I just have a basic bottle of Four Roses. Oh.
Okay. Not enough to knock me off. I still have the lead. McNew, what do you got?
I have Broken Barrel. It's the California oak finished with cab staves.
Okay. Oh, ouch. There goes my unexpected victory. I thought I was going to grab there. McNew takes the lead. Jim, what do you got?
Well, Heidi brought home a brand new bottle of Yellowstone. She said I'd open this first so she can come down and get a pour. So
okay.
We'll have a new bottle to start the night.
All right. We'll see what happens here. Oh, I think he won. That was a little sharper than McNew's.
Good, yeah.
Very sharp.
That was hard to get out for me.
Yeah. So Jim wins. He's 1-0. Cheers, gang.
Cheers.
Heidi's going to be mad. She wouldn't want to use that on her show. That was good. All right, we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, it's time to discuss this cage match thing and how it all got started, what it is. And does Lenny still believe he can beat up any distiller? We'll do that in just a few. Hello, this is Steve Akeley of the ABV Network. Let's talk about the people who make this show happen. First up is Leatherwood Distillery in Pleasant View, Tennessee. Company founder Andy Lang started distilling as a hobby while serving his country as an elite Green Beret. Andy distilled all over the world during his time in the military and brought this passion back to him in the U.S. when he returned home. A visit to Leatherwood combines Andy Lang's unique distilled spirits and a museum of artifacts from his time serving the U.S. Share a drink with a fallen soldier at their bar where you can grab an acrylic bio off the wall that celebrates the individuals who gave the ultimate sacrifice to protect his or her country. They will also ship their distilled spirits directly to you, so check them out at leatherwooddistillery.com. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent visits to Kentucky. Today, he's leading the way for young distillers making their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery combines family history, a look at what makes their products unique, and of course a tasting through their whiskeys, moonshines, and creams. Check them out at neelyfamilydistillery.com and visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
Fosnot and
Jim Fosnot.
And we are recording the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're discussing if Lenny can take any distiller in a cage match.
Yes, we are. So, Lenny, I don't know how this got started. You know, for us, you mentioned it on a show one time, and it's such a crazy, bold, weird statement that it just rings true. And it's one of those things, of course, you get something stuck. Maybe it's just in my mind. Then, I bring it up all the time. And, I hear the audience talking about it all. I see them post about it. I hear them talk about it at live events and stuff like that. It's definitely something that rings with, the people that pay the most attention to us. So tell us, first of all, when did this first come about, this whole idea? And what was it? Yeah.
So let me try to shed some background, context, stage setting, whatever. And you guys feel free to chime in if something sounds preposterous or contradictory to things I've said in the past. But this was a long time ago that came up. So present day, I'm a solid 47 years old, almost 48. And this statement was made over 10 years ago. So just pull me back one decade. I don't know that I was necessarily in much better shape. I mean, a few less knee surgeries. But where this all came from was, think about Deer Hammer having been founded in 2010. At this time, I was maybe 3 years into, pretty regular, 3 to 4 days a week of, sneaking out of my day job for a long lunch break or after work. And there was a gym down the street, and I was training in MMA, not like kickboxing.
Whoa, MMA!
Not actual I wasn't trying to fight anyone, but I was I want to. It was a fun outlet at the time.
Were you roided up or anything? Is there any of that?
I would have if I could have acquired such substances.
Okay.
But, no, it was all natural. But really, there wasn't a whole lot of anywhere it was going to go. But then, throughout that year, into 2011, we acquired the building that Deer Hammer is now, and I moved full time to Buena Vista, so 2 hours away.
Yeah,
and there were no such, facilities for the same level of training up here. There was one, and I went there, and I was there for a few weeks before I popped my knee and needed probably my 5th knee surgery. But just the same, during that time, my thought was, it'd be cool. This is as Deer Hammer's getting going. There wasn't a lot of equipment in the building. We had one small still, some small fermenters, and a heavy bag. And I was contemplating putting down mats. And I thought to myself, it'd be awesome. There's so few distillers out there in Colorado doing anything. If we had this concept of a submission grappling match and whoever taps has to furnish a bottle for the other person. My thought was, I think I can take everyone. And this at this time, I was thinking Colorado. I was like,
Right.
I think that if I could get any other distillers up here, I'd be like, you bring a bottle and let's roll. Let's see who comes out on top. Might be you, probably me. And now, and that was it. I never actually got a mat down. There were never any takers. I kind of floated out there. There were a few characters that I was concerned about that I might not come out on top for, but that was the premises. Now, when I brought it up on the ABV network, God knows how long ago, I for sure never said cage match. That was
right. But I look at that as like the famous guy who the skyjacker guy who famously took the plane and then bails out in the Pacific Northwest. His name was Dan Cooper. It was never DB Cooper, but a mistake was made. They called him DB Cooper. And now if you say what do you know about Dan Cooper, nobody knows. But if you say DB Cooper, people still know that. So I think it's just one of those things where somehow it got turned into cage match, and it's no going back. That's
I agree. Yeah. Well, that's kind of
the take poetic license also. Like he likes to make it more appealing to his masses. Just ask Heidi on some of those.
Well, Heidi has this thing where she thinks she can just say, she does these outrageous things, just the craziest outrageous things, and then it's fine by her. She would never even question it until you repeat back what she just said, and then she realized it is crazy, and then she's like, I didn't say that. I almost need a camera recording me 24 hours a day when I'm around Heidi, because she'll say things and then just deny it. And then, people by nature always say that the default, they'll go against me, of course, at any time. I never have anybody supporting me on anything. So, but yes,
like cage match, I never said that, but as it's been well documented, I can't back down anymore. Like even fast forward 10 years and multiple surgeries later, torn rotator cuffs, I don't know. I still have to stand up to it. So whether there is a chain link fence involved or not, there was talk about a swamp fight at one point. I'm not swamp fight that either. I don't know where fists thrown ever came to be, but hey, why not? I think I come out on top pretty much across the board.
I think this could be a cool concept for a charity event. So you bring in a bunch of distillers, industry people. Whoever loses donates to the winner's favorite charity. This could be beneficial for a lot of people.
Yeah. Not beneficial
to
my
opponents. We have a thing here called Guns and Hoses, where they do a charity boxing match between the police officers and the firefighters. We could do between the bourbon distillers and the brewers, get some beer brewers involved, and have a charity event where we go through bourbon and beer.
I've no offense to the brewers. I've never met a fit brewer, so I think the distillers have a good chance.
A few fit brewers. There's not many fit distillers. That's my whole point.
That's his point.
Send me the field. Jeez, I don't see a whole lot of cardio there.
My thing with Lenny, like I used to watch MMA way back when it was first starting, when the league first started up, and when it first started, there wasn't rounds. They just fought until it was over. They'd go in.
That's true.
And there was Royce Gracie, who was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, and he was not a big guy, but he won. He was a champion for a long, long time. And that's, I think, Lenny, because Royce is like a barnacle. He would just get on these guys. He may just get an ankle at first. He'd finally just worm his way up into a position where he'd get an arm bar or leg bar or choke out or whatever on a guy twice his size. That's what I'd see Lenny having to do. He's going to have to be the barnacle, just cling on for dear life, and eventually get him into like a pinky hole where he's ripping their finger back and they tap out.
That's exactly what happens.
I think he'd be good at the Muay Thai kicks. I think that's where he'd get him. Just wear him out with that. Yeah.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of leg kicks if that was permissible. I actually took a seminar with one of Royce's brothers a while back.
Did you?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, huh.
I used to love that guy, man.
So so here we are. If this really became a thing, would you throw your hat in the mix at age 47, almost 48, Lenny?
Well, yeah. I mean, like if when I say something, whether my statement is misconstrued, as is the case now or not, I tend not to back down from it. Like if it's said, it's real and it's happening. I mean, that's how my distillery started. I was just in Mexico. I was like, hey, I'm starting a distillery, and I had to do it.
Right.
I mean, not that those Mexicans cared. They were like, whatever, dude.
So who do you look at and be like, well, that'd be an easy win? Who's an easy win, and who's someone that that kind of is like, I'm not going to say you're afraid of anyone, because I don't believe that to be true. I think that you go against anyone, but that you're a guy who's talking about walking around and popping your knee out. I don't think you're going to do good in any sort of ring.
No, but I would
cage match, swamp, you name it.
Well, here's the thing, and there's just some realities. Like, try to bear with me on this weird comparison. So, you guys shoot guns here and there, right? You know your way around at a gun range.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't. I've never fired a gun in my life. So if we were to have a, what do you call it? Like a shooting competition where you shoot at a target, no matter how much better my cardio is, I guarantee than both of you guys, everybody on here, I'll just make that statement. I'm not going to win at that shooting tournament, no matter what. Even if I practice all day, you're going to beat me.
Right.
Well, I don't think there's too many distillers that have, been in a ring sparring with someone and trained kickboxing or submission grappling. So I think I would beat most people, but then you got anyone with military background, they've got more training. I've watched guys in the military train at the same place I trained at. They fight hard. They're a little dirty, but they're tough. And I think anyone with a military background, it poses a big challenge.
Okay.
No one else.
Plus, those guys aren't trained for matches. They're playing to save their life.
Yes,
so
exactly.
They'll just, effing kill you. Like, they'll take the worst shot ever to win, because that's the way they're trained. It's just muscle memory for them is to not, they're not going for points or tap outs. They're going, let's just snap his arm and then he can say, I give.
Yeah. They know what they're doing. So I would take nothing away from anybody who's
if this really happened, would your wife allow you to do this? Do you think Amy would be on board? Would she sign off and be like, hey?
I wouldn't tell her.
Oh, that goes well for you when you do that kind of stuff.
I mean, she's the one who talked me out of continuing jiu-jitsu, because she was like, don't you think after this knee surgery it's maybe time to call it quits? I was like, no, maybe. But
yeah.
We'll see.
You might have a point, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like when you said you would fight someone for a bottle of bourbon, I would totally get in on that if I could wear like a sumo wrestler suit. I would do that, Berkey.
So you'd want one of those padded suits, and you would
just roll out there and slam up on somebody. That could be fun.
That's like wearing the dog attack suits and then being like, come at me. What?
Yeah. I've heard McNew talk about fights she's got in. I wish there was video existing of McNew getting in a fight. What caused you to get in fights in the past?
I didn't actually get in a fight, but I almost did, because a girl pulled my extensions out and that fucking hurts. And I had my fist back, and luckily my friend was behind me and stopped me from punching this girl who deserved to be punched. But I didn't actually get in a fight, but words were exchanged.
Okay.
Picture more ABV mud wrestling, Steve.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got all the ideas. Jim, how tall do you think McNew is?
What do you McNew? 5'6", 5'7"?
Like 5'6.5" Yeah.
That's pretty good. You were right to 5'6", 5'7". That's the perfect answer, right?
5'6 3/4.
Yeah.
Depends on what extension she's wearing that day.
Lenny says he's 5'6" or 7", right? But you have.
I'm not an inch above 5'6".
Okay.
I
know you're shorter than that because you have clearance, and you go under that quite easily.
Yeah.
Oh. So that makes it interesting. That's going to set up tomorrow, because guess what? We got a surprise for you, Lenny. We're going to have you do the cage match tomorrow. We're going to talk about, some distillers. I think we put together a pretty good list, and you're the champion. I mean, you know what? Because we haven't actually ever done this, and you've always claimed that you could do this, and no one has come up and said, you know what, I'll kick your ass, man. I think going into this, you're the champion, but we're going to do a bracket challenge tomorrow where you're going to have to come out of 8 people total, including you, so 7 others, and to maintain this championship. If not, it's over. Your run is over as being this guy who can beat anyone in this stuff.
I better dig up some performance enhancing substances between now and
Hey, Steve, we do need a ABV sticker that says my master distiller can beat up your master distiller.
Sounds like something Lenny should work on for him. I could beat up any distiller. Why is that not one of your stickers? One of your Deer Hammer stickers?
Maybe it will be.
Yeah. All right. So we'll wrap this one up as we prepare for tomorrow, part 2, I guess, kind of. in some way. We're going to be back tomorrow, and we're going to have a bracket challenge where we see if Lenny can come out of this thing alive, if he can be the last man standing. So that should be fun. For right now, we'll wrap this one up, as we always do, by talking about where people can find us. Dana, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter as Dana the Dreamer 6.
All right, Lenny.
You can find myself and the rest of Deer Hammer on social media at Deer Hammer. On the web at deerhammer.com, you can also order Deer Hammer there, shipped direct to your door. And you can come visit us in beautiful Buena Vista, Colorado, where I'll be training hard.
All right, Jim.
You can find me on Facebook at Jim Fosnut or on Instagram at FozJim, FAZZJIM.
All right, McNew.
I am on Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out because everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, or shop. So much more, abvnetwork.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the Network.
All right, great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Should be a fun one. Cage match time. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country, ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.